Hi, I'm Chad with Turf Organics, and today we're going to go over a good spring program for your lawn, including fertilization and pre-emergence. What to use, when, and how. Let's get right into the video. Your spring program is very important because it helps your lawn recover. This time we had a very cold winter, so it's going to be really important to pick the proper program to get your lawn back on track for summer. First thing to know is your zone. What area are you in? I'm in zone 9, and a lot of people have St. Augustine grass are also in zone 9. This is important to know your growing season, and that's going to determine when you need to apply your spring application. Our growing season starts around March, April, and goes through September, October, and sometimes even into November. So now for us in zone 9, March and April are going to be the best time to be applying your spring fertilization and pre-emergent. My recommendations are, if your area doesn't receive a freeze, March is a great time to apply that spring fertilization. Now, if you do get at least one freeze, I recommend waiting till April, because that means you're usually in an area like here, North Florida, where we can possibly get some cooler temperatures rolling back in late March, and that can really slow the growth down if you fed your lawn a little bit too early. So in areas like North Florida, it's probably better to wait till late March, very early April. But if you're pretty much North Florida and past, March is a great time to apply that spring fertilization. And you're probably wondering, Chad, what's the best fertilizer to use? And I'm gonna give you some tips to determine the best fertilizer for your lawn. Now, one of the most important things is to always make sure you're using a slow release product, and at least 50% is slow release. You don't want all your nitrogen and fertilizer to be releasing all at once. That's gonna promote too much growth, can possibly cause burn and stress the lawn. Now, another thing to look for is you always want your N, which is nitrogen, the first number, double. That is double then your K, which is the potassium, the last number. So double the N, then the K, because what we're trying to do is take your lawn from giving it all that potassium all winter and going from stagnant growth. With all that nitrogen, we're trying to tell it, hey, it's time to grow, use that energy to shoot upward. So some of my favorite fertilizers that homeowners can get is a 24-11 or something very close to that, or a 16-48. The 16-48 has a little bit less nitrogen, so you can apply it at a little bit higher of a rate. But both of those have double the nitrogen than it does the potassium. I do not recommend using anything over 24 nitrogen, which is the first number. If the fertilizer has micronutrients like iron and other things, that is great. That is just a bonus on top, but the main thing you're looking at for the spring is those macros across the top. So you don't have to apply the micros, but I highly recommend if you can find a fertilizer with those macros and also have some iron and things like that in it, that'll just be more beneficial to the lawn. Now, for the spring, I always like to use a little bit of phosphorus, which is the middle number. I never go over 4% in the lawn, and you only want the phosphorus in this one application. Using too much phosphorus can be very damaging to our environment and also not give you much benefit in the lawn. So we want to use low amounts one time of year, so it gets all 3 macros to help wake up from the winter, but no more after that. So I would do nothing more than a 4 phosphorus, and that is for the lawn. It's different for the shrubs. Now remember, this is your big push. We don't want to be constantly feeding the lawn heavy macros all year long. This is the big macro push. So we want to feed the lawn with those heavy macronutrients and then spoon feed the rest of the year. So don't think this is what you're always going to be doing. Hit it nice now, let the lawn wake up, and then we want to spoon feed it through the rest of the summer. Another important thing is using the right amount on your lawn. This is definitely something you don't want to overdo because it can do damage to our environment and your lawn. So let's make sure to get the application rates right. But I have a really simple way to solve how much granular you need to put on your lawn. Every bag will tell you how much square feet it covers. So let's use in this example 10,000 square feet, which is very common from a lot of bags. So if this bag covers 10,000 square feet, so you need to know how much square feet your lawn is. Now, I know a lot of people don't have all the proper measuring things, and guess what? That's okay. You can go to Google Earth, there's a measuring tool at the left. Hit the measuring tool, and go take it from meters to square foot. And you can literally draw out around your beds, around your house, your lawn, and it'll give you a really good square footage, probably within 500 square feet of what your lawn really is. So let's say your lawn is 5,000 square feet. So the bag covers 10,000, your lawn is 5, you know you need to use half. If you don't know what setting to use on the spreader, look on the bag. If the bag does not help you, go light. Put half of the bag in the spreader, put it on a low setting and push your yard. If you have some left over, push the yard again. But you can't take it back once it's down. But you can always put down more. What's going on, man? Now again, after this, you will be spoon feeding the lawn for the rest of the year. If you want to know more about that, check the links below. I have more videos about what to do for the rest of the year and even a full year program. So please check out the rest of my channel. And while you're at it, liking, subscribing, and commenting means the world to me. It helps get this information out there and is much appreciated. Now that's a good rundown of what you need to do for your fertilization in the spring. Now let's talk about pre-emergence, because for the weed program, this is very important. Now what pre-emergents do is they put a layer over the soil that help prevent weeds from germinating or growing. If you're interested more about how pre-emergents work, again, check the links below. I have a video on that, but this video will be more about picking the right pre-emergent for you and the timing. Now the great thing about a pre-emergent, it's effective in a granular or a liquid. I know granular is usually easier for homeowners to apply because you just need a spreader, and especially if you have a bigger lawn, a backpack may not be an option for liquid. Now making sure the rates and having an even application is really, really important in applying a pre-emergent. Because remember, it's putting a layer over the soil. If there's gaps in that layer or some are thinner and thicker than others, then you're gonna get mixed results. Now most pre-emergents need to be watered in about a ½ an inch after they're applied. So make sure that if you don't have an irrigation system, we're gonna be getting some water in the future. If you do have an irrigation system, make sure to set it for the next morning to water at least ½ an inch, which is around roughly 30 to 40 minutes if you have fair coverage with your irrigation system. Check the label for your product. I know most pre-emergents need this, but not all, so please read the label. Now, timing is everything when it comes to applying a pre-emergent. There are zone maps that you can find that help show when a good time to apply a pre-emergent in your area is. But the most accurate way to know when to apply a pre-emergent is to know what your soil temperatures are in your area. And that'll be the most accurate way that you can get a proper application out. You can go to Greencast soil temperature map. Just Google that. The first thing that will pop up, type in your area. Now you're probably wondering why the soil temperature is so important, because the best time to apply a pre-emergent is before the soil hits 50 to 55 degrees. So that is before, right before the soil hits 50 to 55 degrees, that's when you want to hit your pre-emergent. And depending where you are watching this video determines when that will be. And then another thing I want to address, because a lot of people are from a warmer climate, like I am here in North Florida, but some are even in an even warmer climate, like Central and South Florida. And so for those people are going to go, Chad, my soil temperatures never really get that low, or they start to rise. Like here in North Florida, we hit those in early January. And early January is an okay time to apply a pre-emergent, but the pre-emergent is going to start running out in March. So the problem is the pre-emergent might wear out before some of those weeds germinate. And so for us people that the temperature starts to get there around January, what you're gonna wanna do is apply a ½ a rate in January. You can do a full rate if you want, but a ½ a rate should be sufficient in January, and then another full rate in March. So what that's gonna do is you're getting your product down when the soil temperatures are right, and then you're following up later, because even though the soil temperatures are warming up, some of those weeds won't germinate. Applying that second March application, that'll take you through April and May, when that crabgrass, buttonweed, and all those nasty, nasty weeds are coming out, and that'll help prevent that. Again, that is for pretty much our North Florida and after people. Check your soil temperatures. If they're hitting around 50 to 55 in January, that's gonna be your best course of action. What pre-emergent should I use in my lawn? And that's something I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is the most popular active ingredients that are for St. Augustine grass. Now make sure to always read the labels and check that this will work in your area, but all these are the most popular pre-emergents that work well in St. Augustine grass, and I'll pull them up. Remember, what you're seeing here on the screen is not a brand name. This is the active ingredient. So I'm not recommending any brands or anything, but make sure that the products you have one of these 3 active ingredients in it. And that's what I found to be the most popular and some of the most effective for St. Augustine grass. Now this is a good lawn program for St. Augustine, zoysia, centipede, bahia, and Bermuda. Now, the main this is targeting is St. Augustine and zoysia. The rates for the fertilizers may be a little different in Bermuda centipede and Bahia, but it will still work well. Everyone, thank you so much for the support. It's so much appreciated. If you could, like, comment, subscribe. It really means the world to me. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day.